My name is Edwina Peart. I'm the Equity and Justice Lead for Quakers in Britain. I'm here with my colleague and friend.
I'm Lindsay Burtonshaw. I work for Quakers in Britain, supporting Quaker peace activists and Quaker racial justice activists. Quakers try to live out their faith in practice, living our values of equality, justice, peace and truth through action.
Quakers in Britain made a submission to the committee because we know that racial discrimination remains part of life. Throughout our complicated history, Quakers in Britain have been involved in both perpetuating and challenging racist power structures. Recognising that, we're striving to do the latter, to challenge deep-seated structural racism and meet our commitment to be an anti-racist faith organisation.
On the 13th of July 2024, Black Lives Matter UK held their inaugural Festival of Collective Liberation at our London building, known as Friends House. The Black Lives Matter movement, which of course surged since 2020, continues to highlight injustices and violence that affect many of us, from schools to policing. Friends House was shared with BLM UK following our 2020 commitment to practical reparations for Quaker involvement in the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism, and economic exploitations.
Quakers also have a long-standing commitment to international law and its institutions, and welcomed this chance to raise our concerns in a United Nations forum. Since we wrote to the committee, we have seen a diverse England men's football team reach the final of the Euros, and also a nationwide election during which racist discourse was in the daily news. More people have died crossing the English Channel because they had no safe route, often fleeing violence exacerbated by British arms sales.
We raised a number of themes about which we hope the committee will provide robust feedback to the UK government. We highlighted that education policies still lead to racist outcomes. This includes the Prevent policy, which has a toxic track record linked to Islamophobia and suspicion towards Black and brown young people. We also know that school exclusions affect certain groups disproportionately, damaging youth potential and causing huge distress. Permanent school exclusions have rocketed to 9,400 since 2021. UK education should make more of the legacy of colonialism and the link between racial disparities and vulnerability to climate breakdown. Education is devolved in the United Kingdom, and there is a lot of knowledge and experience in civil society that the government can draw on to more effectively combat racism in schools, which is also essential if the UK is to meet its international commitments under the Convention of the Rights of the Child, the Sustainable Development Goals, UNESCO's recommendations, and of course the CERD Treaty.
We have also written to you stating our alarm about how cruel immigration and asylum policies continue to be applied, reinforced by hateful public discourse. Since we wrote, the new UK government has committed to repeal its Rwanda deportations policy, but an overall hostility to arrivals to the UK remains. We continue to call for safe routes of migration, including the introduction of humanitarian visas and improved rules for family reunion.
We raised a number of concerns about policing. Fundamentally, unequal policing remains an everyday reality for many in Britain, and this can be tackled by changing policies that are known to discriminate, such as stop and search. We believe true security does not come from coercive force, but from building cultures of peace, friendship, and non-violence.
Finally, we raised the deficit in state accountability in the case of the United Kingdom. The committee will be aware that the UK has not ratified Article 14 of the International Convention. This is more problematic because there has been open government hostility to both national and international institutions that might provide recourse or redress, including the European Court of Human Rights and the UK's own Supreme Court. The new UK government needs to alter this sense of unaccountability at a time we know racial hostility may be on the rise in parts of our politics and culture. We hope that the UK will ratify Article 14 to increase transparency and accountability about racial discrimination.